So we're getting to the end of 2021, and I think it's time to look through everything that we've reviewed this year and all the stuff that's come through the store and tell you what my favorite guitars of this year have been. Stick around to find out. How's it going, you guys? My name is Cooper Greenberg here at Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like and comment on our videos. And if you're interested, become an insider on Patreon because we got some cool extra stuff over there. So like I said, drawn to the end of the year, and you know, the last couple years, despite all the weirdness, has been pretty exciting for guitar. A lot of these manufacturers putting out really cool new things, and luckily for us, we've gotten to see a lot of it. Some things get promised at the beginning of the year and then we never see them till the next year, and that's a whole other story. But some of these manufacturers have really come through with some awesome new things and some awesome reissues of old things. So I was kind of looking through what we've talked about this year. We've done a lot of reviews, a lot of demos. And you know, last year we did the same thing, looked through our favorite guitars of 2020. I wanted to show you 5 of my favorite guitars of this year and some honorable mentions. And I'd love to see what Chris might have to say because I think his list will be a little bit different, but this is just my thoughts. And what I'm going to do, talk about them a little bit, and then, you know, we have full videos of these, so I'll link them above so you can click and watch the full demos if you didn't catch them the first time. And but we'll throw a little clip of the demos in there as well so you can hear what I'm talking about. And they're in no particular order. You'll see that, you know, I might at the end have an ultimate favorite, but when it comes down to it, they're all pretty good. They're good for different things. So I want to start with the Epiphone FT110 Frontier. Now, when this came out and we got them into the store, a lot of non-believers weren't into the fact that it was a $4,000 Epiphone acoustic guitar because we've all been conditioned into thinking that Epiphone is the affordable brand to Gibson. It's the Squier to Fender. You know, it's just kind of what people think when they think of Epiphone, but they don't really know the history of the company, about how Epiphone, long before we knew them as we do now, made very high quality, high dollar instruments. And I think I'm pretty interested in kind of where the USA made Epiphone stuff is going to go next year, because this is American made. This is made up in Bozeman, Montana. And it's just a pretty sweet looking guitar. I mean, it's very similar to some Gibson acoustics you might think of. We got a spruce top and we got maple back and sides, but it's got this beautiful cactus and lasso massive pickguard on it. Some inlays that we kind of think look like razor blades. And I do think that Gibson and Epiphone have some pretty high priorities for US made Epiphone stuff. I love the Casino. I'd love to see a Casino come through the store, and I think we have them on order already. So keep your eyes open for that. But I do think this guitar kind of got swept aside immediately when it was announced because people don't want to spend, you know, Hummingbird or Dove prices on an Epiphone. But if you think about it, it's just a different name on the headstock. Same factory, very similar build, and just some extra stuff that you wouldn't get from a, you know, one of the standard Gibson acoustic lines. This guitar was introduced long ago and it is a reissue. So it's not like they're creating new body styles that they're trying to get you to buy into. A lot of people love these guitars from way back in the day. I fell in love with it. I did a few different kinds of demos, as did Chris. But we'll just kind of pick out a little sound sample so you can hear why I think it's a really great and possibly underrated guitar. So check it out. All right, so next up, we got something that I think is also pretty cool and may have flown under the radar a little bit. And you'll notice that this is a pretty Fender heavy list. There's a few reasons for that. One, I like Fender. All right, sue me. But yeah, whatever. Fender's great. They've put out a ton of great things this year. They've done a really good job at keeping production up, getting orders fulfilled, and introducing new lines. So last year we talked a lot about the Ultra series, and we've always talked a lot about signature models. And I would like to say, I think, you know, we might have mentioned this in the video before. This is kind of what I consider to be one of the first really artist signature models that are comparable to an Ultra line. A lot of times they might be vintage inspired. They might be, you know, there's a lot of different features that go into signature models that take them away from one of those standard lines. But this has a lot of the features of an Ultra Stratocaster, and it's got a few cool things that I don't think you could really find on any other Stratocaster, or really any other Fender guitar for that matter. A big thing that we talked about before, but if you didn't know, this is actually a slightly smaller body for a Stratocaster. It's, I believe, transparent sapphire finish, which is matte. It's really, really nice. But it's cool. It's a little bit smaller body. If you're not aware of who Cory Wong is, this is his signature model. He's an insane sort of lead rhythm player. He's sort of, I think, really dialed in that maybe Nile Rodgers inspired kind of thing where you're a rhythm player, but you're really taking the lead. I mean, he shines through on every Wolfpack song. Fantastic guitar player and a really cool dude. He was part of the promotions for the Ultra line when they first came out. I think that my buddy Chris got to see him perform live at a dealer event when they introduced those guitars. So he's already, you know, a Strat guy. He's already been part of the Ultra line. So this is kind of his version of that. It's cool. It's got Cory Wong's signature on the heel. It's that nice contoured heel from the Ultra line that we know. And just locking tuners, nice fretwork, you know, supernatural satin finish. The whole guitar, comfortability-wise, is fantastic. And if you don't know him, again, his tone really relies on those in-between sounds on the Stratocaster, especially position 4, between the neck and middle position. So your push-push switch on the tone knob is not, you know, kind of the Ultra way of doing it has been the push-push. We'll throw the neck pickup into positions 1 and 2. This is kind of a find your way back to living in position 4 switch. So you can be anywhere, smack it, you're in position 4, which for his really percussive style of playing, it really works. But also, if you're like me, when I'm playing a Strat, that's my preferred position as well. So it's cool to be able to just like keep it there, especially engage it, you're stuck in position 4. If you, you know, if you're jamming out, a lot of times you might hit that switch, go to the bridge, that's a no-go, but it'll keep you there, which is a nice feature. And it's got a hair tie that you can throw onto the springs in the tremolo in the back. Really reduces all noise. He relies on a very, very clean, slappy tone. So this is kind of the machine built for that. And, you know, we've sold several of these. I think the people that know about them really like them, and not just hardcore Cory Wong fans, hard Cory Wong fans. But those that have played them really enjoy them. I like it a lot. I want you to hear a little bit of the demo that I did on it, because I did my best Cory Wong impression to a certain extent. And it just sounds super clean. It's not the noiseless pickups of the Ultra, but they're great pickups. I think that might be a turnoff for some people that don't want noiseless pickups, but they want a really high-end guitar. So this kind of combines the really nice features of the Ultra that everybody loves with a few cool extra things. So check it out. So before I get into the guitar that I'm holding in that line, I have another one for the list that we don't have in stock, but we will be getting more. So first, I think it's just worth mentioning, but I also, I would be careful to tease people and say, hey, I love this guitar. You'll never be able to get one again. There will be more coming in, and you can probably guess. Last year, we talked a lot about the custom Chris McKee Signature 914 CE Limited from Taylor. This year, we did another Alamo exclusive that was the 814 CE Limited. Adirondack Spruce Progressive Diamond Inlays. It's kind of a tribute to a classic 814, keeping the good features of the new 814, the kind of redesigned version from a couple years back, and adding the Adirondack Spruce top on there. We've talked endlessly about the amazing pairing of East Indian Rosewood back and sides with Adirondack top. Creates a sound cannon of sorts, and I really love that guitar. I think that, there's a reason we call the 914 CE Limited, that I believe we might be getting a few more of those in. We've sold out of them every time, just like we sold out of the 814s, but there's a reason we call that one the Chris McKee Signature. It was originally based on his personal 914C from, I guess, about 20 years ago. But the 814 Alamo Music limited exclusive guitar was a lot more just kind of what we think are improvements on their already flagship Pretty Perfect guitar. And doing things that if you were to make one in the custom shop and spec it out like that, it would probably be a lot more expensive versus what we can get, what we can do, and just kind of add a little bit of extra cost from a standard 814. But I think it makes really substantial improvements, and it's just a really beautiful guitar. Can't beat Adirondack and Rosewood. So I want you to hear a little demo of Chris playing that, because I would be lying if I said that wasn't one of my favorites from this year. Check it out. All right, back to the stuff that we have that I can hold in my hands, and back to the Fender dominance of this list. The Player Plus series was introduced this year. It was a heavily embargoed launch, so we couldn't mention it to anyone. And it was really exciting to get to put those out. It's this massive line of, I think, 6 different models. I think maybe more, because there's some basses, and then there's 4 guitars, the Stratocaster, the HSS Strat, the standard Tele, and the Nashville Tele. And I chose this one because this is probably the one that I would want to get if I was going to get a Player Plus. But I'd like to use this spot to kind of highlight the whole line, because they're all fantastic, and then I'll tell you why this one's my favorite. It's a Mexican-made guitar, just like the Player series, and the Player series is probably the most popular, most consistently sold guitar from Fender that we sell in the store. But made in Mexico electric guitars with components that you would really only be able to find on the Ultra line from the American factory of Fender. Locking tuners, really nice satin neck with beautifully rolled fret edges. And that's kind of a point of conversation, are these the Ultra rolled, whatever. But noise pickups, and switching options right there, so you can, each one has a different option. In the HSS, you're splitting the coil. In the Stratocaster and the Nashville, you're adding the neck pickup in to positions 1 and 2, because this is a 5-way switch, just like a Strat. And in the Telecaster, you can run them in series. So that's the same pickup switching capabilities on noiseless pickups that you get from an American Ultra. So you're really paying for the same features of a guitar that's twice the price. And it's made in Mexico, which we all know that the Mexican-made Fender stuff is extremely high quality, great consistency, great quality control. But the reason that I like the Nashville the best, and I've talked to some people about this that just kind of like the line and want, you know, some sort of direction on where to go. I think that this really combines everything that you could want from a Fender guitar. A lot of people love a Tele but want an extra pickup to get some in-between sounds. A lot of people love a Strat but want the Tele snap and, you know, kind of the configuration of these two pickups, the neck and the bridge. And this allows you to do all of that. You can really get any tone that you want. If you want the classic Tele middle position, you're going to go to position 1 and pull out your tone knob. So it adds the neck in, you get Tele sound, and then you can get all the Strat in between sounds. It's really just kind of, you know, there's a reason they call it the Nashville Tele. You think about session players in Nashville, Tennessee, making music in a studio. They're going to need something that can kind of conform to any tone that they need. So I think that this is a great guitar. And like I said in the previous video, if I had one of these, I'd throw a B bender on it and go all the way and have kind of a mini Brent Mason Telecaster. But this is just an amazing guitar, and it's something that I bet if you had a contoured heel, this would be an Ultra. It's crazy. But I want you to hear a little bit of this specific one. There are all kinds of finishes that you can browse through on our website because we have most of it. We've been selling through and getting more in, and so it's always hard to tell. But butterscotch blonde on a Nashville Telecaster, noiseless pickups, locking tuners, and all the extra switching options, it's going to be hard to beat for me. So this is a clear, I would say probably runner-up, and then we'll get to number 1 in a bit. But check out the sound. Tell me what you think. So there you go. There was a little Player Plus Nashville Tele. And before we get to my favorite of the year, I think it's worth it, just like last year, throwing some honorable mentions. You know, you've seen this guitar plenty. Fender has done so much to market it. We've had some videos on these and its predecessor, the American Acoustasonic. This is the Player, Acoustasonic Player Telecaster, currently the only Player version from the Acoustasonic series. And I will be the first to say that, you know, it's a polarizing guitar, and I probably fall on the end that did not buy one of these immediately when they came out. I think everybody that wanted an Acoustasonic probably has gotten one already, and now it's just a conversion game. We got to convince people that they're as cool as other people think they are. I'm still kind of on the fence, and I'll be honest, because I'm not sure if it really captures all the tones the way that, you know, it's supposed to. I have good acoustic guitars, I have good electric guitars, and so, you know, it would be a hard sell for me to replace all those in a live session with one thing that can do a little bit of everything. The reason why it's an honorable mention for me is because I think it's a pretty genius move what they did to streamline this from the American version. As you know, the American Acoustasonics are right around $2,000. They'll be going up in price just like everything else will. So, you know, be forewarned, next year this list is going to be a little more expensive because everything's going to be more expensive. But The Players came out, another embargoed release that nobody could talk about, and what they did was they took about $800 off the price. They took out some of the pickup options, but it's virtually the same exact body, same feel. Everything feels extremely nice, just like the American ones, and they streamlined, like I said, to kind of 6 essential voices. And I'm positive that we'll be seeing a Strat version and a Jazzmaster version and maybe some others added to both lines. But really what you're working with here is 2 acoustic voices, 2 hybrid lo-fi voices, and then 2 electric voices, a clean and kind of a pushed crunch, fat, noiseless Tele as they call it. So while I'm still in the process of being converted to loving this guitar, I would definitely say that they made a really good call, changing up the line, adding an option for those of us who were kind of enticed by the American version, but it seemed like it was a little too much of a price difference. If you already love the guitar and you want one with all the string resonance, body sensor, which this one doesn't have, the American's a no-brainer because it's just got a lot more options. But if you're interested in kind of adding this to the setup, you know, doing some fun stuff with it, maybe playing some shows where you don't want to haul a bunch of guitars, I think they did a really smart thing with this. And we won't throw in the demos because we have a full video that we did very recently. I'll just link that one above, because I do want to mention another, another thing that can't make the list because it's not a guitar. But it was a fantastic year for pedals as well. And something that I still don't think is getting enough love is the Strymon Zelza, multi-dimensional phaser, incredible pedal that we also have a demo of. And I'm not holding them here, but like I said, great year for pedals. The UA-FX pedals, the Starlight, the Astra, and the Golden are incredible. So I rushed to do pedal demos. I think we're still getting people on board with how cool pedals are and wanting to watch these videos, but we dove into all of these, a lot of different sounds. So don't sleep on pedals for some of the best products that have come out this year, because the Zelza, the UA-FX, bunch of other stuff. It's been a great year for effects as well, so check them out. So the last thing I want to talk about, I would say, I guess it's my favorite, it's number 1, even though this isn't technically a ranked list. Last year, I fell in love with the Ultra line. I purchased one, I got an Ultra Jazzmaster, and I thought, all right, so I got the top of Fender's line right below the custom shop. I got the best thing they got, and then they dropped the Ultra Luxe, and I wanted to be really upset about it. And then, I fell in love with them. And they are basically just a kicked up Ultra, have some extra things that just take it to a new level. But I still classify it, it's in the American Ultra series. And I chose this one because we haven't gotten to show it on the channel yet. This is the Plasma Red Burst Ultra Stratocaster. It's got a matching headstock. It's super cool. And they make a few of these. We've done the Ultra Luxe with the Floyd Rose Stratocaster version. We have the Telecaster HH Floyd Rose video. It's ready to go, but I've been reluctant to release it because we can't keep them in stock, and I don't want to tease you with something that we don't have. So when we get those back in, the video will go up so you can hear them and then decide for yourself if you love them. But the Ultra Luxe line from the Strats and the Teles have just been fantastic. It's got a little bit different of a neck profile, got the augmented D neck, and it's inside pickup wise and switching wise, it's going to be very similar to the Ultra, but the finishes are a little different. I love the transparent surf green of the Telecaster. We can't keep that one in stock. It's really hard to keep any of these in stock. But the big, jump up that is something that people have been asking Fender for years are stainless steel frets. So this guitar takes all of the fast playing comfortability of the, Ultra series and just trims off all the extra sharp edges, not, literally because it was already Ultra rolled, but any fret noise that you might have gotten on the standard nickel frets is gone. These are stainless steel. And the neck is just a little bit more comfortable, a little faster. It's really hard to beat this guitar, and now I'm scared for when they make the Ultra Luxe Premium or whatever it's going to be, because they'll keep innovating. I didn't want to buy into the hype of this guitar, but I have bought into the hype. It's a fantastic guitar, so want you to hear a little bit. It won't be this color because, like I said, we've never done it on this channel before, but you can hear the Ultra Luxe Stratocaster and see if you agree with me that it's the best. So there you have it, you guys. There's just kind of some of my favorite things. There's a lot of stuff that came out this year, and you'll notice it was Fender focused, it was electric focused. We had a few, you know, we had a Taylor in there that you didn't see. You didn't see me holding it. We have the Epiphone Frontier in there. But everybody's done really cool stuff. There's the Generation Collection from Gibson that, you know, another polarizing thing with the player port, and people have opinions. But that's been really fun to see those come into the store and kind of hear people's thoughts on them. There's a lot of other stuff. I think the GTK21 came out this year from Taylor. That's a crazy guitar. So kind of what I want to do is I want to see if Chris would like to do a counterpart video, talk about his top 5, see where we overlap. I can guarantee you it's going to be less electric focused, and you know, we can all probably guess what his number 1 is going to be. But that's it for me. I love these guitars. I think that you would love them as well. I wanted to mention the Noventas as well. I keep bringing those up, and they are always an afterthought for me because I keep forgetting how cool they are, and then at the last minute I'm like, man, Noventas are tight. So if you like P90s, you can check those out as well. But for me, Ultra Luxe, the Player Plus, Cory, Wong, the Frontier, the honorable mention, Player Acoustasonic, and then, you know, it's always fun to have an Alamo exclusive custom guitar that you can only get here. So how could I not put that on the list? But I want to hear y'all's thoughts. What's your favorite stuff that came out this year? What's your favorite video that we put out this year? Because we've been doing 3 a week for the last almost 52 weeks. So there's been a whole bunch for you to choose from. Let us know your thoughts, and you know, if you dig the videos, subscribe to them. We're going to have a whole new crop of stuff next year, and a whole new list. So let us know what you want to see, subscribe, like the videos, comment, tell us what you think, and we'll see you next time.